Hello children, today we are doing angles and their properties, exercise 18D. This is found on page number 198. Question 1. Each figure given below shows a pair of parallel lines cut by a transversal. So you can easily make out that these two lines with the arrowheads are the two parallel lines and they are cut by another straight line that you can see, and that is called a transversal. So in a figure like this, we have to find out A and B. So unknown angles are A and B, and one known angle is given to us. Looking at that, we need to find the other two angles. Now whenever you have to find one unknown angle, look at an angle whose value is already given and see if there is any relation between the unknown angle and the angle whose value is already given. So in this case, let's see if there is any relation between A and 140 degrees. If you look carefully, you can see that these two angles are on the same straight line. They are adjacent angles on a straight line. That means they should equal 180 degrees. So angle A plus 140 degrees should be equal to 180 degrees. And what is the reason? They are a linear pair of angles. So now let's find out angle A. 180 degrees. Now I move my 140 degrees to the right hand side. It becomes minus 140 degrees. So angle A equals, how much is 180 minus 140? It is 40 degrees. So we found the value of A. Let me write it here, 40 degrees. Now that we have found A, see whether you can find B by looking at A. What is the relation between A and B? Look carefully and see. If you look at this angle A and this angle B, can you see that they are interior alternate angles? They are interior alternate angles. And what do we know about interior alternate angles? They are always equal. So question, angle B will be equal to angle A. Why is it so? Because they are interior alternate angles. So angle B is equal to, how much is A? 40 degrees. And the reason is interior alternate angles are equal. So we have found angle A to be 40 degrees and angle B also to be 40 degrees. Question 2. Again, we have A and B as their known angles and we have 60 degrees. Now look carefully and see if there is any relation between A, the unknown angle, and 60. A and 60, if you look carefully, are corresponding angles. And what do we know about corresponding angles? We know that they are equal. So angle A is equal to 60 degrees. And what is the reason? Corresponding angles are equal, right? So we have found the answer. Angle A is equal to 60 degrees. And the reason is corresponding angles are equal. Now, can we find a relation between B and 60? If you look carefully, they are adjacent angles on the same straight line. And what do we know about adjacent angles? That they are equal to 180 degrees. When you add up both, they should be equal to 180 degrees. They are also known as a linear pair of angles. So angle B plus 60 degrees together should be equal to 180 degrees. The reason is because they are a linear pair of angles. So let's find angle B. B is equal to 180 degrees. Now I'm going to move plus 60 to the other side, it becomes minus 60. So angle B is equal to 180 minus 60, which is 120 degrees. So now we have found angle A is 60 degrees. Reason, corresponding angles are equal. Angle B is 120. Reason, linear pair of angles equals 180. Question 3. Again, let's see the relation between A and the known angle 110. If you look carefully, you can see that these two angles, 110 and A, are vertically opposite each other. Can you see that? They are vertically opposite each other. That means vertically opposite angles are equal. That is the property we know. Vertically opposite angles are equal. Therefore, angle A is equal to 110 degrees. Now that we have found that angle A is 110 degrees, we can easily find B. Okay, so now we're going to find B. If you look at A and B, they are co-interior angles. Co-interior angles are supplementary. That means they will add up to 180 degrees. So what do we know about them? Co-interior angles are supplementary. So angle A plus angle B should be equal to 180 degrees because co-interior angles are supplementary. And we know angle A is 110 degrees. Now we need to find angle B. So both these together equals 180 degrees. I'm going to leave angle B on the left hand side, 180 on the right hand side, and I'm going to move plus 110 to the right hand side. It becomes minus 110. Angle B is equal to 180 minus 110, which is 70 degrees. So now we have found A to be 110 degrees and angle B to be 70 degrees. Question 4. We have A and B again. Now let's see what is the relation between A and 60 degrees. If you look carefully, you can make out that A and 60 degrees are corresponding angles, and we know that corresponding angles are equal. That means A is equal to 60 degrees. How did we find out that? Because corresponding angles are equal and A and 60 are corresponding angles. Now how do we find B? So we already found A to be 60 degrees. If you look at angles A and B, they are lying on the same straight line, isn't it? They are on the same straight line. A and B together are on the same straight line. And what do we know about angles on a straight line or adjacent angles, or they're also known as a linear pair of angles? We know that they are equal to 180 degrees. That means angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Angle A is 60 degrees. We don't know how much angle B is. Both these together should add up to 180. So we're going to find angle B. I will leave it on the left hand side. Leave 180 degrees on the right hand side. Now move 60 degrees to the right hand side. It becomes minus 60 degrees. So angle B equals 180 minus 60, which is 120 degrees. So we have found angle A. How? Corresponding angles are equal. Then we found angle B to be 120 degrees by using the property linear pair of angles equals 180. Question 5. look at A and 72 degrees and see what is the relation. A and 72 are interior alternate angles. And what do we know about interior alternate angles? They are equal. Interior alternate angles are equal. That means angle A is equal to 72 degrees. So we found angle A to be 72 degrees. Now look at angle B. What is the relation you see between angle A here, angle B here and angle A here? What is the relation you see? If you look carefully, you can see that they are vertically opposite angles. And what do we know about vertically opposite angles? We know that vertically opposite angles are equal. That means angle B is equal to angle A. So let's find out angle B, how much it is. Angle A is 72 degrees. So since A and B are equal, angle B is also 72. So we found the answer. Angle A is 72 degrees and angle B is also 72 degrees. Question 6. Now A and 100, we are not able to find a connection. So let's look at B and 100 degrees. What do we see between angle B and 100 degrees? If you look carefully, you can make out that they are corresponding angles. And what do we know about corresponding angles? They are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. So angle B is equal to 100 degrees because corresponding angles are equal. Now that we know the value of angle B, that is 100 degrees, we can easily find out the value of angle A. If you look carefully and see, angle B and angle A are on the same straight line. Can you see? They are on the same straight line. They are adjacent angles. So we know that adjacent angles form a sum of 180 degrees. They are also known as a linear pair of angles. And what do we know about such angles? Linear pair of angles equals 180. That means angle A plus angle B should be equal to 180 degrees. Angle A we are going to find out. Angle B we know is 100 degrees. Together they should add up to 180 degrees. So angle A, I will leave it on the left hand side. On the right hand side I have 180 degrees. Now I'm going to move plus 100 degrees to the right hand side. It will become minus 100 degrees. So angle A will be equal to 180 minus 100, which is 80 degrees. So now I have the value of angle A, that's 80, and angle B is 100 degrees. Question 7. Now look at A and 130 and see how they can be connected. If you look carefully, A and 130 are co-interior angles. And what do we know about co-interior angles? We know that co-interior angles are supplementary. So that means that angle A and 130 degrees together should add up to 180 degrees. So let's find out angle A. I will leave 180 degrees on the right hand side and I will now move plus 130 to the right hand side. So this becomes minus 130 degrees. So how much is angle A? 180 minus 130 is 50 degrees. So we found A to be 50 degrees. Now let's look at B and 130 and see if they are connected in some way. If you look at them carefully, look at 130, it's on this side and B is vertically opposite 130 degrees. So that means they are vertically opposite angles. And what do we know about vertically opposite angles? They are equal. That means angle B is equal to 130 degrees. So we have found our answers. Angle A is 50 degrees and angle B is 130 degrees. Question 8. Now let's look at A and 62 degrees. Now we don't see much relation between them. So let's go to B and 62 degrees. If you look at B and 62 degrees, they are corresponding angles. And what do we know about corresponding angles? Corresponding angles are equal. So that means angle B is equal to 62 degrees. So that was easy, isn't it? So let me write 62 here. Now it is easy to find angle A, isn't it? Because A and B are two adjacent angles on the same straight line, and they're also known as a linear pair of angles. And what do we know about such angles? Linear pair of angles equals 180 degrees. That means angle A plus angle B should be equal to 180 degrees. So let's write that. Angle A plus angle B equals 180 degrees. We're going to find out angle A, so we'll write it as it is. We know the value of angle B, it is 62 degrees, and together they add up to 180 degrees. So let's find angle A. I'm going to leave 180 degrees on the right hand side. I'm going to move plus 62 from the left hand side to the right hand side. So plus 62 becomes minus 62 degrees. So let's find angle A. Angle A is 180 minus 62. So let's do that subtraction here. I'm going to borrow. So that is 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 6 is 1 and this is 1. So we have found angle A to be 118 degrees. So we've got our answers. Angle A is 118 degrees and angle B is 62 degrees. Question 9. Look at A and angle 90 degrees. They are on the same straight line. They are adjacent angles. They're also called a linear pair of angles. And what do we know? A linear pair of angles will always be equal to 180. That means angle A plus 90 degrees should give us 180 degrees because they are a linear pair of angles. So let's find angle A. I will leave 180 on the right hand side as it is. I'm going to move plus 90 to the right hand side. So it becomes minus 90 degrees. So angle A will be 180 minus 90. So let's do that. 180 minus 90 degrees. So that's 0. 8 minus 9, I cannot do. I'm going to borrow. 18 minus 9 is 9. So A is also 90 degrees. Now that we have found A, we can find out angle B. A and B are co-interior angles. And what do we know about co-interior angles? They are supplementary. So co-interior angles should add up to 180. So angle A plus angle B should be equal to 180 degrees. So how much is angle A? Angle A we found out is 90 degrees and we are going to add up angle B to get 180 degrees. I'm going to leave angle B on the left hand side, 180 on the right hand side, and I'm going to move plus 90 degrees from here to the right hand side. So now it becomes minus 90 degrees. 180 minus 90, we just worked it out here. So angle B is also 90 degrees. So we have found angle A to be 90 degrees and angle B also to be 90 degrees. There is another way of finding angle B. If you look at this 90 degrees and B, they are corresponding angles. And we know that corresponding angles are equal. We will stop with that for today. In our next video, we will continue exercise 18D. Thank you, children.